Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at story-speaking headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Punch newspaper. The major story here says, Senate presidency dissent in APC. Aspirants demand fresh zoning formula. Dissent in APC. Aspirants demand fresh zoning formula. All right, you find all the details on the front page of the Punch newspaper. We'll move now to the Nation newspaper, and it's towing the line of the same story, talking about the zoning. APC pledges a revisit of zoning amid lawmakers' protests. APC pledges revisit of zoning amid lawmakers' protests. So you find the details on the front page of the Nation newspaper. To the Vanguard now, 10th National Assembly leadership, senators-elect, reps-elect move for open contests. 10th National Assembly leadership, senators-elect, reps-elect move for open contests. Are the details on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. And to the Guardian newspaper now, National Assembly leadership more cracks as APC House divides against itself. More cracks as APC House divides against itself. Details on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Mike?
All right, I have the leadership newspaper here, and it's also focusing on the 10th National Assembly leadership. Tinubu in secret talks with opposition members-elect. That's what the leadership has. Tinubu in secret talks with opposition members-elect. And don't expect us to be loyal if zoning formula stands. Gagdi saying this, and expect a repeat of 2015, Wase Betara warned. That's what the leadership has. Blueprint newspaper is next, and is also on the 10th National Assembly. Wase Betara Jaji take protest to APC Secretariat. All right, the blueprint. All right, what's on the, he said Nigeria in trouble, exceeding borrowing limits. Budget office is saying this, all right? These are different dimensions today. We're pushing towards 100% in debt service ratio, and Buhari seeks fresh $800 million loan for 10.2 million households at 5,000 naira each. Okay, that's what the Blueprint newspaper has. From there, let's go to Nigerian News Direct. It says 18 days to Buhari's handover. Budget office raises alarm over $800 million loan request. And it tells lawmakers about Nigeria's limited borrowing space. Okay, that's what Nigerian News Direct has. From there, let's go to This Nigeria. This Nigeria is next. 18 days to exit. Buhari asks for $800 million World Bank loan. And money to finance the National Social Safety Network program, and debt profile becoming unsustainable. Budget office cries out. Okay, that's This Nigeria. From there, let's go to Daily Trust newspaper. All right, doubts over Buhari's fresh $800 million loan request. And Nigeria fast exceeding borrowing limit. Budget office is raising an alarm here. And total debt hits 77 trillion naira. Okay. And a new request, a parting gift, CDD is saying this, all right? And that's some writers there. From there, let's go to Business Day, which is the last we're looking at now. Nigeria's infra core in limbo as CBN delays seed funding. Nigeria's infra core in limbo as CBN delays seed funding. All right, that's what we have here on Business Day. Veronica?
All right, gentlemen, let's look at this matter of the 10th National Assembly leadership. If you look at the papers this morning, a majority of the front page is looking at that story because of the number of reactions we are getting with regards to the National Working Committee's zoning formula that it brought forward some days ago, and there's been divergent reactions from various quarters. Now we are seeing that some persons are not happy, and the North Central is obviously making it clear that they've been excluded from the zoning formula is something that is not sitting well with them, and they are not keeping quiet with regards to that. Sam?
Yes, the writer George Lamin once wrote, he said, something startles where I thought I was safest. So when they came up with the formula, it seemed that APC was set. And then suddenly, kata kata come burst. So what is going to happen now is that they have to go back to the drawing board. But going to the drawing board is not going to be easy, because even getting to this position was not easy.
Absolutely.
For them, because there are so many considerations. You have the president from the southwest, you have the vice president from the northeast. Now, you have the president is Muslim, the vice president is Muslim. Yet you have some people who say that they want it to go to the northwest, that's the presidency of the Senate, and they want it to go to the northeast, the presidency of the Senate. If you have those two scenarios, because all those running there are Muslims, you're going to have number one Muslim, number two Muslim, number three Muslim. But these people are not looking at it. People like Batare and so on was say they're not looking at the implication. Because one thing about politicians is that it is me, myself, and I. It is the trinity of selfishness among politicians, that they have to think about themselves first. Let us solve my own. Let me eat this food, this full bowl of rice. After I finish it, then we can think about the rest who are hungry. We think of whether there is anything left in the kitchen. That is the way politicians do it. Now, there is the religious part, and there is the geopolitics. In the case of the Senate, they have presented as the APC South, and Northwest. In the case of the House of Rep, they provided opposition Northwest and Southeast. Now, the interesting part of this old juggle is that the North Central says, what are you saying? We gave you 4 states of the 4 of the 6 states in the region. We gave them to you. You won them handily. And you are giving something to Southeast. They gave you 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. 0%, 0%, 1%. And the other ones, they not reach 10%. And you are giving them Kalu, even though maybe you are trying to trade one Kalu to another Kalu. But where is the South Central into this? We say, okay, it's party chairman. So they are saying that no. Party chairman is not for us, is not sufficient. So that's why they have to go to the drawing board. But however they want to do it, it's going to be difficult for them to say they are going to make a Northwest person Senate president, or a South East person deputy speaker of the House. It's going to be very difficult to make that case. But it's going to be difficult for them to say we're not going to make Northwest person deputy president. Because when we are talking of democracy, we're also talking about numbers. We're also talking about how do you move the drafts. Yeah. And you cannot take Northwest out of this equation.
North Central.
Northwest. Okay. Out of this situation. Okay. You cannot take them out of it. But then you have to placate the North Central, because they did something. If they say party chairman is not sufficient, then you have to sit down with them and tell them, what can we do to make you satisfied? Because the only critical aspect of it here is not Central. It's not Wase, it's not Betara, it's not Zunazo has been making noise saying that he's the youngest person. He's the youngest person. You are the youngest person, but what did you bring to the table? When we didn't see you during the campaigns, just like Kalu, we didn't see you during the campaigns. So what are you doing now? Why are you saying that you deserve it? You don't deserve anything. You deserve what you work for.
It's a ranking member.
You don't just jump up like there's this novel Being There, by Kosinski about a person who was who could not write good English, who could not spell anything, and suddenly he says little thing. People think that he's very wise. Before you know it, people are saying, "Oh, even the media, everybody say, I think this guy should run for president." A common gardener. So you don't just get positions like that. You have to do the work.
Interesting. Yeah.
The point there is, if you see where the North Central is coming from, you will understand.
Absolutely.
Now, the point there is, let's go back to the politics of the leadership of the party when the national chairman emerged. At that point, there were the issues of where the national deputy chairman North will come from, deputy chairman South. The politics of the leadership of the party is different. So using the national chairman as North Central, you have the national chairman of the party, does not count here. Now, when you finish the leadership of the party, because the issue of the politics of the leadership of the party happened some time ago and it's past.
It's past.
Right? Good. Move on now to the National Assembly. The politics of the National Assembly leadership is totally different from the issue of SGF. The politics of SGF is at the point of appointments, where you are going to lump ministers into, as the case may be. That politics is totally different. So the North Central are saying, we cannot accept when you dangle the issue of national chairman or you're going to give us SGF. No, the politics of all of those ones are different. We're talking of the National Assembly now and nothing else.
Yes.
So from that perspective, now some of them are even arguing that, the way this tripod is, the president is from the Southwest. The Chief Justice of the Federation is from the Southwest or from the South, as the case may be. If you give the National Assembly leadership also to the South, then it means that the three arms of government are in the hands of the South. So these are the things, the arguments they are looking at. But the point there is, like Sam said, it's going to be challenging at this point because you have already given a hint of what everybody should get, especially the Northwest. Because if what the North Central is going through now, if it's okay, let us rejig it. Bring Northwest, what we gave you before, let us spread it and give North Central. The Northwest will start their own all over again. So this this drawing board that Sam has said we'll go back to, that drawing board is not going to be easy. It's going to be very challenging because how they got here in the first place was very challenging. But it tells you ultimately that adequate consultation was not made.
Done. Yeah.
If it was done and made as the case may be, they would have known how to settle those who are agitating from the North Central. If at all, that it will be the issue of, okay, we won't even give you any of the things for now. There would have been that agreement or pre-arrangement. So they know, okay, if we decide to not have anything at the National Assembly, what are we having? What is the assurance? That would have been settled before the list would have come out. So as it is right now, it tells you that there wasn't adequate consultation. And as it is, if it goes on this way, then 2015 raised to power 2.
They have already even started saying that 2015 might return.
2015 raised to power 2 will happen.
Well, if they say that they want to do 2015, even in the opposition, are they together?
Well,
are they together? They are only together to the extent that they don't like what they have. Are they together? When you bring it to them, can they really agree on anything? Because, come to look at it, you cannot compromise Northwest in this arrangement. Whatever they are getting, you can't compromise it because they have the lion's share and they bring the numbers to the table. The question is, how do you satisfy the North Central? And agreements are not always about what you get now. They're also about what you can get later. And so that is part of the chip. If they say they want to give them SGF, or we are going to give you a so number of choice parastatals, because some parastatals are even more interesting than ministers. So they bring everything on the table and then you say, okay, well, this is what you can get, you Senator this, don't worry, you can be in the office, we will give you, we'll go and call Mr. SYC, we'll give him that position. Two of you can always be talking. Anyway, that one will keep quiet.
Okay, the one officer just put it there. I think it's just,
but that is how you can say that. Then suddenly you go and meet that senator. I say, are you not there with us? Oh boy, I get. I'm flying to London tomorrow. You guys should decide. Let me watch it. Hey, he has already gone to the other side. That's politics.
it's going to be challenging.
It's going to be challenging.
We might even get to a situation where the opposition will say, okay, we don't want that person. I discovered that they don't agree. At the last minute. So it's very interesting.
Yes.
It's a very interesting situation going on.
Yes. It's even been reported that the president-elect is meeting with some of these persons. So he has his work cut out for him. Yeah. And like we often say in politics, 24 hours is a lot of time. Yeah, to address these matters. Yes. And we hope to see how things pan out in the coming days, and we know that it's going to be an interesting one. Exactly. All right.